Hi everybody, it's Allison Dawrant coming to you from my studio here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I am alive and well, but I did just get over the worst stomach flu that I've ever experienced in my life, the worst illness, and it went through the rest of my family, my immediate family, and so it's been a time of recovery. Let's just say I'm still pretty weak, but I've missed you all. And I thought I would just share a little bit of an artist update just as I regain my strength and I get back into more of a normal art routine. I am a full-time artist, so this is my full-time work, and I'm so grateful to have it, just because when I do get sick, or if my family gets sick, I can find that, you know, being my own boss, I can kind of put things on pause when I need to and just slow down. And that's been really great over the last week or two. Although, oddly enough, I should say, so I'm trying to think of where to start. Right now, you're staring at this painting that's reflecting. You might be able to see my reflection in there. Hello. But this painting actually just sold. So I had titled this painting, yeah, I'm totally sidetracking. So obviously I'm feeling back to my usual self because I'm back to my unedited videos where I just tell you what's on my mind and I kind of get sidetracked. So I wanted to just do a video to say hi, to let you know I'm here. And I wanted to show you, because I had just sold this painting about an hour ago, I wanted to just share with you what it looks like before I ship it off to Vancouver. So this is a painting that it's in a glass frame right now. So I'm just gonna take it out because this is part of my day anyway. This is just a very affordable frame, so I didn't have it properly fixed in here because I had just done some photography and listed it. So I'm just going to take off this backing here. And this is titled Finding Light in the Shadows. And this is a painting I had done about a year ago, but something about the colors, the texture, the energy in it, I've had it hanging in my home, just in my upstairs. When I go up and down the stairs every day, I can see it in the morning just when I get up, and I always kind of take a pause and take it in. And sometimes I have this little laugh to myself that I need to hold the rail because it distracts me as I'm going down the stairs. I have a little bit of framer's tape, so I'm just gonna, it's kind of like gummy, and you can just kind of get it off almost like that gummy tape, and it doesn't wreck the back of the painting. So I have sneaky ways of kind of framing things and keeping them, and then when they're ready to be sold, they're ready to go. So I'm just gonna move this glass frame and let you take in Finding Light in the Shadows. And I'm gonna see if I can just zoom in. There we go. And the lighting's quite poor today. I'm just gonna set this aside. And I have to put away the frame properly just because it's a safety hazard, you know, with that glass, and I just need to take the time to actually put the glass back in the frame. So there we go. Yes, this painting, I'm gonna just zoom out a little bit. And I can hold it up. So this is a painting I had done on 140-pound paper. I love working on 140-pound paper or Bristol paper. That's another really great type of paper to work on. And this is an 11 by 14 inch painting, and it has so much texture in here. So I had started out with, I had actually painted over a painting I already had done. I had this kind of wild landscape. It was florals. They were kind of coming up and out of this grassy area. And it was just sitting in my piles of kind of waiting to be finished, waiting to revisit this piece. And I could just see so much potential by painting over it. And so I let certain areas of the painting peek through. I did a lot of etchings. So when I put those chunky bits of that heavy body paint, so for instance, that white heavy body paint up here, I etched into it just before it dried, and I got some beautiful line work of those colors peeking through. Same down here, I used a lot of different collage elements. So for those of you that follow me, you know when I'm painting with watercolor, I often have a 98-pound piece of paper handy where I just kind of clean off my brush and do mark making. And so this is actually watercolor collage. It's also brown paper bag collage with my own stamping that I had developed. And it's a very wild, full composition piece, but I do see it as finding light within the shadows. There's just something about this that brings me joy, brings me light, brings me hope. And I can't quite pinpoint what it is, and I probably couldn't replicate it. But yeah, so this painting has sold to a beautiful artist, Maxine, who lives in Vancouver, and I always feel so honored when another wonderful artist that I admire and their art resonates with me has purchased my work. So I'm gonna package this up today, and just wanted to share this with you all. It's sort of a style we've been doing together on some of my more recent videos where we're working on Bristol paper and we're just getting down collage and those acrylic inks underneath to put some heavier body paints on top. So let's just go to my art poetry deck, because even though I was okay, so my art poetry deck, I have been very busy packing, shipping. I have sold so many because a beautiful artist by the name of Roben-Marie Smith did the most incredible advertisement for me, this marketing advertisement, just out of the kindness and generosity of her heart. So you probably know Roben-Marie Smith if you're following me. But if you don't know her, you'll want to check out her YouTube videos, her website, and she has a wonderful membership called the Robin's Nest. So Roben-Marie, spelt R-O-B-E-N -Marie, M-A-R-I-E. So it's cute because it's sort of a play on the word Robin, Robin's Nest, but it's spelt with an E, not an I. And anyways, so long story short, when I was feeling unwell and I was recovering on the couch recently, I started to get all these orders just pile into my inbox, and I said to my husband, oh my gosh, I said, there's an advertisement somewhere out there for me today, because I've gotten an influx of orders. And anyway, and then I subscribed to Robin's newsletter, and then Roben-Marie, I subscribed to her newsletter, and there I had seen that she had done the most beautiful advertising for me. So I'm going to pick a card today, and also I wanted to share some of Roben-Marie's work, because she has just brought me so much joy and business, and even though she didn't expect anything in return, I just wanted to share some of her digital downloads that I had purchased and I absolutely love. So I'm going to just pick a card at random from my deck, and this is a wonderful card to have chosen. This is my very loose watercolor mountain painting when I was doing a series of mountains, and this has the words "be present." So this is very much in line with my artist why. My artist why is a visual reminder to stay present in the moment and appreciate the beauty that holds the power of connection and evoking change. And it was through my art poetry deck and my art that I had first connected with Roben-Marie Smith. And, I just feel like we can really change the world through art and through connection and supporting each other and this beautiful community. I see a shadow coming through right here, but it just kind of goes with what we've been talking about with finding light when you have shadows, when you have dark times. So just kind of that analogy. And I love to do art where I see the light parts peeking through, those more opaque colors. And then that brings me to my next painting, Finding Light Behind the Clouds. So I had painted this mountain painting quite a while ago. I'm just gonna zoom you up. And you know, I just do not have the time to photograph and list all of my work because I am so prolific and I am easily distracted. So I'm a little bit all over, but I think that's what makes me a wonderful artist. And you can just see the gorgeous shimmer in the watercolor when I tilt this towards the light, that beautiful moon. And again, I had titled this Finding Light Behind the Clouds. And here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, we're finally out of that really brutal winter, the cold, and we're still having some really interesting spring weather, but we have the most unique cloud formations and dark skies mixed with light and shadows. And, you know, I see the mountains every day in my backyard here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So it's funny that I would pull this mountain piece because I was just photographing this and listing this piece today on my website. So sometimes when I don't have the energy to paint and I'm kind of in that healing mode, I do things that are just really simple, whether it's art journaling or doing color swatches or, you know, maybe photography and just doing final details, maybe, you know, doing the edges of paintings or, you know, signing the back and just getting them on my website. So that's kind of nice, is to have a lifestyle, you know, if you have a creative lifestyle, to have that flexibility with when you're feeling tired, you know, maybe you can get one of those little lap tables and do, you know, some color swatching with some, you know, pens or crayons, just something you can do while you're healing where you need to be at the time. This painting reminded me a little bit of the color palettes in the painting. Well, I guess the pinks for sure, not some of those turquoises, but just these pink colors really reminded me of those pinks in here next to the more neutral toned paper bags. I really want to paint more of this style, which is sort of like the series I had just done, Breaking Cabin Fever. And I don't know if I had told you all, but I had one collector reach out, and before I was even finished the last work in that series, they wanted to purchase them. So my Cabin Fever series, Breaking Cabin Fever by Breaking a Blank Page, that had sold out, but it was just this style of loose acrylic abstract play and texture. And so yeah, I want to get back into that. I also wanted to share, well, this is one of my earlier works. So when I first started really getting into painting and selling my work, I would date my work. So this is February of 2020. So, you know, when we were in a place of the pandemic and lockdown, and I was just painting for myself. And you can just see my style at the time and maybe how it's changed a little bit. I still really love this painting. There's a lot of, I have that beautiful reticulated texture in that phthalo green. There's a lot of etching. And I do use black in my work, even though I'd say I started using black in my work more than I use it now. I have kind of migrated to more of a tinted dark, like a Payne's gray, a darker navy blue to almost black, green turquoise to black. I've just, you know, in this painting, I feel like the black does really work. It adds some beautiful contrast, and there's so much light in here that I feel like it's a good balance. So I thought I would just share this one as well. I need to do some better photography because when I had first painted it, I really didn't have the photography background I do now. So this one I've titled Art is Life. You can see on the back, I always painted on both sides of the paper when I had first started painting. So I'm just gonna set that one aside. And I can share some of the beautiful downloads, these digital downloads of Roben-Marie Smiths. I just got them from my printer today, and I haven't decided if I'm going to frame them or if I'm going to make them into little bookmarks, obviously using them for my own purpose because this is Roben-Marie Smith's work, but it's kind of cool that you can buy a digital download from an artist. That's something I've never done. So it's not like, you know, she's sending me something in the mail, but if you have access to a colored printer, this is just one really neat way of, you know, having another artist's work that you can make into, you know, any size. This is printed on canvas material, but you could get it printed on fine art paper like a giclée print, or just, you know, a regular printer. If you have a colored printer or maybe access to one, that would be a great way to get these beautiful works in color and to incorporate them into like an art journal, or they're just so beautiful. I would just want to frame these little pieces and have them around my home, almost like a mini gallery wall. So you can see that actually the colors Roben-Marie Smith uses are very similar to colors that I absolutely love in my work, those pinks and greens. She does use some black. She does a lot of loose line work with watercolor pencils and watercolor. I really love in the background how you can see this collage paper that has numbers on it. You can see the embroidery string or floss there. I think she uses tea bags in some of her work. This is just beautiful. I'm wearing a really bright sweater right now, and I feel like it could fit into the painting because it has this little pink edge, and so I feel like I'm kind of matching these beautiful canvas prints. You can just see the subtleties of words in here. Something about selling and sight. Something about, can't quite read that, but again, that's just the beauty of just seeing a little bit of the words coming through. I love canvas print. You know, you can also put canvas prints behind a frame, so not just those fine art or giclée prints. Canvas material, I would love to embroider on top of this, maybe follow some of the lines that Robin has, that she's already embroidered. That would be pretty cool. You can see here it looks like a sewing machine. But canvas material, if you have the right size needle, it can be really beautiful to embroider on. Possibilities are endless. So I'm excited to probably first just frame a couple of these and have them up where I can see them every day and take them in. I love the idea of choosing one and maybe emulating the colors and the marks. So do check out Roben-Marie Smith's YouTube videos and her website. She's been doing the 100-day project, and I think it's around day 40 something. And the hashtag she's been using is 100 days of embellished bit, B-I-T. But she is on Instagram too, and she's just one of the most generous artists in supporting others and other artists and just sharing her beautiful art with the world, her beautiful heart. So I just wanted to have all of these little downloads and be able to just go through them all and take them in. So that's just a little sneak peek for you. wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I'm up to. So my series that I was just working on that had sold, Breaking Cabin Fever by Breaking a Blank Page, I had kind of stumbled on this color palette, which I had used in the pieces. I actually just finished one more painting from that series. Where is it? Or it's sort of like a second series, because those first four that I had sold were really that Breaking Cabin Fever series. But this painting I was close to finishing, and I just finished yesterday. But it's the same color palette. So I would say this is probably my spring break series, where I was trying to break my own fever, breaking cabin fever, and the fever I had when I had the stomach flu. So there's a theme for sure. But this, again, it matches my sweater very well today. But you can just see the color palette really inspired me to pull this painting together. I think it's finished. So I used everything from collage. You can see collage bits in here, to stamping with real flowers. I stamped with that reticulated stamp that I had made in one of my earlier YouTube videos. Here, just textured work. And I did some line work with watercolor pencil just to kind of pull in the green from that side. This painting though really it doesn't feel like spring to me. I feel like I've already flipped over just in the matter of a week or two to a totally different color palette. So I love this painting, but I feel like it's more of it's funny, sometimes I think of my work as seasonal, and I think depending on the right space, I mean, it could go up all year round, of course, but as far as my artist inspiration, it looks like a palette that would pull me more from, again, that cabin fever out of the winter months, the really cold months. So I find that interesting. I don't know how you guys think of, when you put art up in your home, do you think of it being seasonal? Do you swap it out? I think it really depends on your style and the space you're in. But as an artist, I really feel the seasons affect my color choices. And I did do a little blog on that quite recently on my website, so you can check that out. I've been trying to blog a little bit more, and I want to show you. So I've gone from this palette to, let's just see, this. So I had purchased these toned sketchbooks. These, let me just think, where's this one from? I had purchased this at Kensington Art Supply quite a while ago. There's just a little spread I had done in the journal. Just learning to paint on toned paper. I had purchased some watercolor pens and I was just going crazy. But I just stumbled on this color palette, almost like I stumbled on that prior palette. And the colors, I'm not sure if it's the toned paper that really inspired me to get these colors. These watercolors are from the Stoneground Paint Co. So at some point I can tell you exactly what these colors are. And I'll show you as well where I'm going to go with this. So this video is not really a demo video today because I just don't have the energy. It's more just a hello, how are you, checking in video to let you know I'm still here and show you what I've been up to. And can I zoom you out anymore? There we go. So a little while ago, I had shown that I had purchased these color cards. This was just through Amazon. But you can probably get color cards from individual artists like Kathy Nichols Art. I really liked how many colors and sort of how the charts were done, just because I'm trying to learn a little bit about color. I have always painted very intuitively. I just go with sort of colors I'm craving, and when I create mud, I just learn from it, I deal with it, I decide if I like it. And these cards are great. I will do a little video probably with, where's the box? I don't have the box near me. I can't go to the other room. It just requires too much energy today. But I just love how it has about 5 different cards per color, per hue, and it shows the tint, the tone, and anyway, I'm not going to get into it a whole lot, but okay, let's just say I decided that when I had just, actually it was when my son was sick and he was on the couch and he really wasn't feeling good, didn't have the energy to do anything, and I was home with him and I just wanted to keep my mind active and also keep him company. So I decided to do some backgrounds in my journal. First I had, where is it? I was swatching out my colors from the Stoneground Paint Co. And this is on gray toned paper. So I chose a gray toned sketchbook. This is their gouache line. And then just decided to just play with color. And this is kind of the start of some of my art poetry paintings, just getting out of my head. And I didn't love painting on the gray toned as much as I loved painting on this brown toned paper. And this palette just inspired me so much. So what I've done is I've pulled out the cards that I feel kind of represent these color choices. It's funny that I would wear that really bright red. It's like a fluorescent red almost. I've always loved these peach colors. I love how it almost looks like there's white around the edge, but it's actually more of a really light yellow. I think it's called nickel titanium yellow from the Stoneground Paint Co., the Canadian watercolor company. I have to double check on that though. I still need to find my other journal where I did a full swatch on white toned paper. But yeah, that is sort of lately how I've been inspired by painting different collections. So I put down colors I'm just feeling, and then if there's something in me that sparks like light and joy, I run with it. And I can't wait to do the mark making to finish this into a little painting. Same with this one. I feel like this would be a beautiful mountainscape or landscape. I can kind of see a little bird here with the beak. And what I had done is pulled out the cards to match, just to kind of inspire me. And then I went to my art poetry deck and I found cards in which I had painted with a very similar palette. So this art poetry card says, "Find community and share stories." And so you can just see these colors. They're a bit more saturated because of course this is on a cardstock print, but it really does show that this palette has inspired me before. This painting is very much spring-like. I would, if I paint so much, I would probably had painted this sometime in the spring. But I'm going to just pull out all of my supplies with these shades of color. This is one of the very first cards from my art poetry deck, and it says, "Add color to your world." And this painting was titled "Here I Am." And this painting was purchased actually from my printer photographer when we had first connected. He really wanted an original mountain painting. And so this painting is hanging in his home, in his living room here in Calgary. And so "Add color to your world." I felt like this painting really had so many beautiful colors, very rainbow. And it's just so interesting because looking at this now with you all on video, I almost feel like I had gone like this to, something I painted without even not seeing this. Just find that very interesting. I have a lot more gray in here. but all of the other colors are very synchronistic. And then something I've been trying to do more, which is why I'm blogging, is write down your thoughts and feelings. So as a visual artist, I'm really good at painting and expressing through colors and marks and through my art practice. But when it comes to describing, or actually I can describe it pretty well, when it comes down to writing what my art is about and my story, that takes quite a bit of energy. So my more recent blogs, I've been trying to write a little bit more. I had done one on empathy and art, as I'm going to be having 3 of my pieces. Actually, I can show them to you. They're going to be they were submitted into a gallery exhibition that's going to be all through May here in Calgary. And so I did a little blog on those paintings. Gosh, I have so much out. These are paintings, though, I have started. And these are ones I had started. This is, again, on Bristol paper. And it was when I was doing my Breaking Cabin Fever series. These were just wild backgrounds. And just yesterday, I decided to add some collage elements and just play. And I'm trying to pull in those colors from this, that just sort of similar colors to these palettes. This one as well, there's something about that yellow and sort of that kind of orangish yellow, the deep yellow, some of those peachy colors, the reds, the blues, and the greens. So we'll see where this goes. And I really want to use collage. I did some stamping with flowers. There's some music notes in the back there. So I'm gonna just probably finish here because it's been a half an hour, and I'm gonna conserve my energy for my family. But I missed everybody on here. Thank you for everyone that's reached out and has been supporting me. I really appreciate it. And this was one of my art poetry paintings that says, it says there are brighter days ahead. So in this painting, I have done a lot of dark. This was a really early on painting, I would say around 2019, 2020, when I first started getting into painting and selling my work, art as a business. And it reminded me sort of storm clouds, darkness. And then it doesn't show too much because, again, this is not a fine art print. It's just a 350 gram card on cardstock print. But these were really light yellows, almost this beautiful light. And I had darks mixed with lights, and just wanted to remind myself that there are brighter days ahead to look forward to. And I felt like the words filter out the negative from reaching into you. You know, try and kind of keeping a barrier up. You know, I don't watch the news, and I try not to engage in anything that's super heavy as far as conversations, events, just because I would not be able to function the way I do, just because of some of the negativity that's around us all the time, and just really trying to highlight the brights, the light that's in your life. And yeah, just learning how to filter out the negative, you know, try and surround yourself with people that boost you up, that, you know, might be a little bit more positive when it comes to just how you feel when you're around them, their energy, and being mindful that, you know, life is short, and we do want to really focus on filtering out any negative energy that's just, it doesn't do anything. It's not necessary. So it's easier said than done. And that's just the card I'm going to leave you with. And also, if you are new to my channel, this is the back of my art poetry card, and it's my painting titled Quiet. And I paint to filter out the noise from the news, the noise from notifications on social media and my phone, and just all of the noise we get. And I'm really trying to bring in the peace that comes from calm and quiet and these creative moments. So that's all I wanted to share. I will link Roben-Marie Smith's YouTube video and her website, and I will just leave with maybe one more little flip through of her work, because just looking at her work makes me really happy. Just check out all the detail in this. So I think her Robin's Nest membership is closed at the moment, and she will probably be reopening that. So if you join her newsletter to stay in the loop, if you're interested, that's a really good place to kind of keep up with what she's doing. And I love that she's sharing her journey through the 100-day project. I'm sure a lot of you who are watching are doing or have done the 100-day project. I think Roben-Marie said she's on year number 9. And you almost see like a little bird sitting down here, a little turtle. My son's been really into ocean life. When we were both sick, we were watching Netflix, The Deep Ocean, those very beautiful shows all about what goes on in our world and the oceans and the different continents. So I'm probably seeing a lot of ocean life here. And I hope you're all keeping well. And oh, this is so beautiful. This is so tropical. This is like a visual vacation. Really beautiful. I love all those light blues that she uses in her work, the line work. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope to do another video soon. Take care.